Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing, a quick morning update. We'll look at XLM, something we went over last night extensively, and we had that upper target down or up here. Let's zoom on out. That was our major overhead resistance there that we're coming up onto right now that we have circled, and we didn't know what it would do. Would it get rejected like it has a few times back there, right? Or can it get some support and then ride up to here? Watch that video last night to go over the ways that you can get up there. This is just a short update, but you can see the local volume right now in the 3-hour time frame is growing. See that? We have a rising price locally in the 3-hour time frame. See that? See that rising price and pumping volume? That's very bullish, right? That's a bullish sign right there on XLM. And that's why last night we put that upper target up there at 42, or it's been there, but we just re-emphasized it again. We've been re-emphasizing it every few days, but that's a major area right there. But you have pumping price, pumping volume. That's very bullish, right? And you can see we're running up into that major overhead resistance as in the hour time frame, the candle turns a flashing, flickering red, green. So what might be happening here as we now see we're moving up towards this area is we may be coming down briefly to touch the 200-day to get supported, to give us enough juice to build up, to shoot past that upper resistance, right? Because the 200 is going to be moving like that, the 50 is going to be moving like that, and the 100 is going to be moving right in between them, right? So that's what I'm thinking is going on right now. We're going to keep a close eye out on this today to see if we can't hop over that major 37-cent upper resistance in that ring, and also that blue ring that's running southwest to northeast, or from what I mean by that, back here, southwest to northeast, right? And the other ring is moving from northwest to southeast. They're moving the exact opposite way. You got a ring moving that way, and you got a ring moving that way, right? And that's a major intersection here. That's why I thought you could come up to there for the past several weeks now, days to weeks, because of that major two areas, two rings hitting each other. And oftentimes it's a good area where the price wants to go, because in the back into the future, or into the past, the price at some point in the market, right? The market has come up there. So that's what we're watching for in XLM today. You can see, we'll take a look now at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's pumped up to that upper target that we had last week. It actually, now it's broke over it. Remember last week we put that green line right there? If we zoom on out now, you can see what that green line represented. It was the old major upper resistance here. But if you wanted to move it up there, there's your top. But that was major overhead resistance where there was a lot of selling. And now we're on top of that. And now we might be trying to come up to this green ring up there. You see it? It's a sneaky little green ring in the back. See it trending down? We might be trying to come up to there now and be playing this as support and resistance. And then you might be having some kind of something going on there. Or this could just be the classic double top locally, even though you topped out back farther a few months ago. But this could be, this is what we've been talking about when the price was down here last week. You can watch any of the videos last week. We keep saying we're coming down here before we get substantially above that high, and we're still not above that high, right here, before we substantially close above that. But we were talking about how we had a rounding bottom, hit the 200-day, and then we could come up like this to form a double top. And then if you zoom out a little bit, it looks like that, right? And that's very possible. And that's something we've been talking about in Bitcoin, because I still think 53,069 is a target before we get much above this old high. But we're going to watch out closely, because right now we're at that critical zone. Do we bust out north and break out and just shoot up with some buyers up near 70,000? Or are we going to start to round and get rejected and come back down? So we're going to keep an eye on that in Bitcoin. But we're up right to where we thought we would be. If you watch any of those Bitcoin videos last week, we were emphasizing what could happen over there. And you people ask questions, don't just read the titles, watch the video titles, or try to get new viewers, right, and excitement. The meat and potatoes, though, are in the video. And then as we move along in this quick morning update, we'll look at the XRP. We told you $1.36 last night is possible. See that? That's why we had that circle up there, and I had a comment from my subscriber. What about the 72-cent target? Yes, it's still going to go down there, but the price is obviously bottomed out down here after we had that phenomenal flush out of this descending triangle, and the buyers came back in. So we're going to give you, the update where the price is going now as the price continues to move into the future, right? And we're not going to tell you it's going down when in the short term it's going to go up. So that's why we had that $1.31 target up there. See that? It's even circled up there, and we're almost to it right now. We're just right below it. But we had a little bit of a local volume spike. Now what I would say is you drag that line out. You don't change its position. You just drag them out farther into the future. And now what I would watch for is, now that we hit this target, see if it doesn't backtest now this support underneath, and does it kick back up and get held support on it, or does it drop down to the next level, then come up and get rejected, and then come back down and then dance around there. And you got to try to figure out, does it break up or break down from there? That's what we're going to watch out for today. Do you back test this underneath support now at, you back test that underneath support at a rising $1.23 and rising, right? Or do you fail the support there? Because it made that almost that $1.31 target. We got up to officially so far $1.29. So a phenomenal call from over the weekend from Vincenzo, right? I'm not going to sit there just because I have a pattern laid out. I'm not going to sit there and shuck off what I'm seeing in the open market, right? Everyone's asking about that collapse, but Vincenzo was the only one back where this big blue arrow is to tell you it would get rejected by there. Everybody else told you it'd be where the price is now. I told you you'd have a flush, and I wasn't 100% correct, but way more correct than the rest of these charlatans on YouTube, because the price went down 22.89% from where Vincenzo called the flush. It only needed 16% more to make the target, but we called it when the price was at 113 and rising, that it would get rejected at 125, I think that was, and nobody else called it. And then we had that descending triangle in there and the targeted move, and we hit it beautifully. And then we told you that when you meet this move, you're going to come back and back test. And then they like to hook down, but sometimes they break back in and then shoot up, right? And that's what this one did. And we've been 69 steps ahead of that. And we give you every area to look at what's going on to make an educated probability-based decision. You can see on the wick down to our 79-cent target, we were only 19%, 18% away. Nobody else called that. Everybody else said up in here when it was rising, you might come down and retest a little bit in the $1.08, $9, and then you're shooting way up to where you're at now, and maybe higher, $1.40, 50, 60, 80. Vincenzo told you it was going to come down there, and it did, and then he called a turnaround and said, watch these levels as it interacts on its way up, and now it's up here, and now we're just continuing to monitor, because I do not think you're going to make substantial new highs, but we're going to keep an absolute eye out on this for you so you can profit as this price pumps and as the price dumps, right? Like, subscribe, and share to Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. Extensive updates later on in the day. Hit that subscribe button, the bell notification. Let's get in here and get this down. It's up now to 31.2 again. It was to 31.0, so we're getting new viewers that aren't subscribing. Please get off that charlatan, fleecer, and hustler, and heister, and shyster. 31.2%, and yes, join the revolution, and the 68.8% members of Yas, Jabroni Killer, Yas, as we sidestep and manipulate the market and fleece, heist, and shyst, the fleeced heisters and shysters, and walk away with all the fucking money. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love to my beautiful growing audience. Peace and love.